Hello. Maybe you, like me, watch the daily government broadcast and the media questions that follow. 3 diagrams are now featured, the third one of which compares our national death rate with other countries. You can see the UK following a very similar trajectory to other European countries, Italy, Spain and France. Germany follows an almost identical path, but somewhat lower. South Korea is achieving lower totals altogether. But every country shown is managing to stop the deaths total taking off, with one exception, the USA, whose figures are now threatening to leave the top edge of the diagram. Email me and correct me if I'm wrong, but I can't think of any other country where there have been public demonstrations against the lockdown. And this shouldn't surprise us. For American society sees itself as one where the governmental machine is seen as serving the individual rather than vice versa, as for instance you'd find, say, in China, where even before the advent of communism, the Confucian tradition saw China as a large beehive, where each individual sacrificed themselves to the welfare of the hive as a whole. You may be relieved you don't live in a society where the state puts itself above the individual. But should we fear the other extreme, where the individual sees himself as having inalienable rights, meaning he can behave exactly how he wants, regardless of the consequences to other people? One silver lining in our present cloud is that we've appreciated, perhaps more clearly than we have done in recent times, how much we actually affect one another and need to be accountable to one another for how we behave. Who would have thought that the sale of a pangolin in an outdoor market in a city far away we'd never even heard of would bring our whole way of life to a grinding halt? In the first letter of Peter, chapter 2 and verse 17, we read this: love the brotherhood, fear God, honour the king. On a balance of these 3 biblical commands, love for each other, fear of God's judgment and a consequent obedience to his laws, and a respect for government as something ordained by God, our present historical freedoms have been built. If we stray away from them and descend into self-centred anarchy, despotism will follow as we try and keep the lid on unleashed human nature. You could say that our present crisis has reinforced our love for each other and a respect for government, who do seem to be better mannered and better informed than the media people who daily question them. Could I suggest that if we add fear God to love the brotherhood and honour the king, we'd have a better chance of leaving behind that essential selfishness which might see the American death rates taking off exponentially for some time yet. Bye-bye.